going to take a look at a couple more names, free agents that Jim Schwartz could bring over from the Tennessee Titans, where he was kind of a defensive assistant. Start with another defensive tackle, Teair Tart. Tart, better pass rusher than a run stopper, played 305 pass rush snaps, 26 pressures, 2 sacks. And again, that's a guy that won't be a big price one, but will be familiar with what is required from that Titans defense, which was pretty good.
Yeah, and obviously, worked with Jim Schwartz the last 2 seasons, with Schwartz being in Tennessee as a senior defensive assistant to Shane Bowen, the defensive coordinator there. So there's obviously some familiarity. I'm sure, based on that alone, it makes sense that it'd be a fairly easier sell for Tart, because he would come into a system where he's already got familiarity. He knows the coach, and I think that could be important. And like you said, maybe I don't know if they go get that star, but certainly a couple pieces added into that offensive tackle room, a couple of veterans, is a good way to go. Guys who can stop the run and guys who can also play the pass, because you need to have guys who can be on the field for all 3 downs potentially. Tart seems like a guy who can do that, maybe not at an elite level, but just at a solid, steady level. And for most part of the season, the Browns didn't even really have solid, steady playing defensive tackle to begin with.
Yeah, but that's an area that definitely needs some upgrading and some work. Safety, Andrew Adams is the second one. Adams, an intelligent safety that excels in coverage, 74.8 coverage grade past season. Some struggles at times in run support, coming off a serious injury, so he tore his patella tendon in week 17, but would provide good depth if healthy. I don't know about you, Tim. I think they need to add a true free safety, especially if they're going to play one high, that single safety, which tends to be more of what this defense plays with Jim Schwartz, at least historically.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how you feel kind of where I am, that, with John Johnson and Grant Delpit, they seem kind of, maybe redundant isn't the right word, but they feel like their strengths kind of coincide with each other as opposed to complement each other. I think Grant Delpit, he's got a lot of potential to still be a very good player, maybe even potentially sneak into a Pro Bowl. But in my mind, he's a true strong safety. I've said his best work comes when he's playing downhill, when he's playing in the run game. And if you can get a player like Andrew Adams, who's a true free, maybe even somehow Jesse Bates from the Bengals, if he makes it to the market, because he'll probably be one of the top safeties available. A guy like that on the opposite end to complement Grant Delpit and to be that true center fielder who can be that last line of defense, who can kind of patrol the deep part of the field, not really let anybody break loose behind them. I think that's really the only thing the secondary is truly missing at this point.
All right, and the third one, again, this guy ties to Jim Schwartz, new defensive coordinator. DeMarcus Walker, defensive end. Browns unable to generate much pressure from the edge outside of Myles Garrett. You could say that as a total as well. Sure to be a big focus for Schwartz. Creativity with defensive line play is his specialty. 2022 with the Titans. Walker, 32 quarterback pressures and 8 sacks. So again, you're going to look to get, I don't know if a bookend's the right word, somebody that you can put on the opposite side that can at least eat a lot if they're going to go single coverage and double team and triple team Myles Garrett each and every snap.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the big thing. You maybe don't need a superstar number 2 to go opposite Myles Garrett, but you need a guy who's going to win one-on-ones, because there's going to be a lot of doubles, triples, chips, you name it. Whatever teams do to slow down a pass rusher, you're going to see that done to Myles Garrett a lot. And I would imagine, that's going to free up whoever else on the other side for potentially one-on-one coverage, one-on-one, protection schemes in that situation. And I'm fascinated, who kind of fits in that wide 9 scheme. And, looking at the weight of DeMarcus Walker, 280 pounds, I know it says in that article as well that they like the bigger type of edge rushers. I feel like personally that scheme, the wide 9, is almost more favorable to smaller edge rushers, guys that can win with the first step, win with quickness, and just really get around the edge and just really kind of trap a quarterback in the pocket because the tackle can't get out there. So maybe in my mind, I'm not Andrew Berry. We're going to probably disagree on this, but I think if you're looking for a second edge rusher, maybe I'm looking for, a smaller, quicker guy, even a guy who's maybe more traditional 3-4 outside linebacker, just because, again, with the wide 9, you want some quickness out there, and a guy's going to win with that first step.